Sudan كان عملوا الشعب ثم عملوا زول واحد بدأوا بدون سرابيسة بدون كرسي بأغنام وبأبوغان وبنت وبأي حاجة بتاع جنوب السودان للمواطنين جنوب السودان للشعب لو تشيل براك وإنت تعمل جيل بطريقة بتاع برا ولا يبقى في يدك بدون كرسي هكذا.
On this 16th, which is celebrated on the 16th of May every year since 1983, the day that the first bullet of the revolutionary front was started in Boertown by 105 Battalion in Boertown in 1983. It is to be noticed that the 105 Battalion started firing the first shot of the revolution movement in Boertown 1983. Today, SPLA is celebrating the 34th anniversary of the inception of the movement which worked hard to liberate the nation and bring the independence of South Sudan. We have also witnessed statements and comments coming from senior dignitaries at today's function, starting from the Chief of Defense, starting by Major General Simon Ananias Laku, the organizing secretary for the committee, encouraging the soldiers and giving his support to the army for the great work that they have done to liberate the nation, and proceeded by the newly appointed Chief of Defense, General Ajongo Mawut, who also encouraged the army to continue with their great work and congratulated them on this 34th anniversary of the SPLA Day. General Ajongo also said today's day is a day of pride for all the people of South Sudan, and particularly the SPLA forces, because this is the day that marks their great victory that achieved the independence of South Sudan. General Ajongo also outlined the main purpose of the SPLA and its function, which he said is to protect the territorial integrity of South Sudan and to protect the citizens and their property as the main objectives and the purpose of the SPLA to serve the nation. Ajongo also said that the SPLA have laid a plan on how to cooperate with the incoming RPF, that is the Regional Protection Force, as agreed, and if they are to be deployed, he outlined the commitment of the army to cooperate with this coming RPF. It is also to be noticed that General Ajongo mentioned the ongoing work which he's laid as the new Chief of Defense Force to work with his colleague as a team to achieve the desired goals of the army in South Sudan. While addressing the event, Ajongo also said that they are ready to work to iron out the failures that has happened in the past in order to see the army succeeding in all its efforts to be enjoyed by the entire nation. General Ajongo also mentioned that they will be working hard to protect and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan as the main goal of the army. Also, after Ajongo, we have observed and witnessed an address from the Deputy Minister of Defense, General Toy Chany Riat, who represented the Minister of Defense at the event, and he was very categorical on supporting and congratulating the entire army fraternity for the great day. And now moving on with the rest of the event.
From this junction, we will prepare ourselves to be ready and get the words from our Commander-in-Chief, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, the President of South Sudan. Your Excellency, it is your turn to come and give the courage to your armed forces plus the dignitarian. Your Excellency, welcome.
Gentlemen, the President of the Republic is now taking the stage to address the army and the nation indeed at this 34th anniversary of the SPLA Day. Once again, the President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief is about to address the nation on the 34th anniversary of SPLA Day here at the event. The President of the Republic is now addressing the nation.
SPLA oye! SPLA oye! On Tuesday, May 16th, we marked 34 years since the establishment of the Sudan People's Liberation Army and its political wing, the SPLM. An organization that led our revolutionary armed struggle for 21 years. On this special occasion, I want all of you to rise up and we observed a minute silence to honor our fallen heroes and heroines. Father will be seated. I want to honor our fallen heroes and heroines of our glorious revolution. Particularly, I want to salute our late leader, Dr. John Garang de Mabior, and the fallen founding members of the SPLA. I want to also take this opportunity to salute the women and men of the SPLA who continue to fight for the dignity of our people. They faithfully protect and defend our country, its sovereignty, and its right to exist in the community of nations. We honor you and stand with you in defense of our Constitution. SPLA OA. The SPLA was not formed to fight for the rights of a few. It was founded to ensure that future South Sudanese generations are able to live in freedom and in dignity. Those of us who founded the SPLA movement did so while prepared to make the ultimate sacrifices with the aim to free our people. The fact that some of us are still alive today is by the grace of God and not on merits of our choosing. At the start of our liberation struggle, we recognize that in order to address the oppressive policies of Khartoum-based regimes, mobilization of our society was necessary. Our job as leaders of the liberation struggle was to properly articulate the grievances for which we choose to take up arms. Among the grievances was the marginalization of blacks and non-Muslims. Well, of course, in Kalamda, even if you were to be a Muslim and you are a black person, it was difficult for you to be put in the center. The third issue was the exclusion of people who lived in the periphery of Khartoum from accessing political and economic power. The fourth issue was the deliberate underdevelopment of South Sudan and other regions. The last issue was the treatment of the people of the then South Sudan, people of Darfur, Kordofan, Blue Nile, and Eastern Sudan as second or third class citizens in the country, Sudan. That means Sudan was not for everybody. We had an alternative vision for the Sudan, and that was to take down a system that we thought was ultimately ineffective. As our late leader, Dr. John, would say, the system was too deformed to be reformed, and it called for a total replacement, that is, destruction and to be replaced. It was an unjust and discriminatory system. We wanted to replace it with a new political dispensation that would be based on democratic governance, separation of state from religion, and to put an end to entrenched discrimination on the basis of race, region, ethnicity, religion, and political affiliation. Our vision became popularly known as the New Sudan Vision, which was a dream to establish Sudan on the new basis and to address all the historical injustices of the colonial state. This would promote fair treatment of all citizens and stimulate equal political and economic participation of Sudanese people from all walks of life. In pursuing this vision, we faced a multitude of challenges along the way. However, our commitment to set our people free was relentless, and regardless of ever-changing international or political landscape, remain true to our vision. And because of this, we remain focused, and when we lost the aim of liberating the whole Sudan, the fallback position was to take South Sudan, which we have done so well, and we are now a free state. Many citizens in the north did not embrace our vision, as they viewed the movement as isolated to the south. So our proposal to resolve the Sudanese problem during the CPA negotiations had three dimensions. The first dimension was to establish two systems in the country during the interim period, where one system would be based on South Sudan under the SPLM, and another based in northern Sudan under the National Congress Party. This is because the then Sudanese government had refused to separate state from the religion. And so they were to practice that system in their sphere of influence, while the SPLM opted to a secular democratic system in the South Sudan. The second dimension was that the two parties then agreed to work collaboratively to promote unity through democratic transformation of the country and equitable development of the underdeveloped regions. The third dimension was that if we failed to transform the whole Sudan, then a referendum would be held for the people of South Sudan to decide whether to create their own state or remain in the whole Sudan under such conditions that they know they cannot be the first-class citizens. That the SPLA managed to achieve was the third dimension of the solution, a total independence of the South. This is how we became the Republic of South Sudan on July 9, 2011. It was on the backs of so many daring men and women whose bones and blood are scattered across this land that we became a free people in a sovereign nation. My fellow citizens, this history is critical for us to recall as we mark 34 years of SPLA existence. Obviously, in the last 3 years, we have seen how the forces of evil have tried to bring down our country. They are bent on trying to rewrite the history and drive the wedge among our people. They have even gone as far as portraying our historical army, the SPLA, as an ethnic army. However, we are all keenly aware that our military is comprised of all South Sudanese from every ethnic group in the country. This inclusive, historic, and heroic army is what brought this country into existence and deserves honor and respect. Yes, we have work to do, but we can never deny the immeasurable contribution of our gallant forces. I want to appeal to all our citizens, including those who are in opposition, to embrace nationalism and to be patriotic. We should not allow our own hands to destroy most precious gains which we have made since we took up arms in 1983. At this time, we should focus on building a nation rather than allowing external forces to push us further into conflict. As a people, we must reignite the vision that sustained us during the long years of struggle. Our historical movement must be honored, and we cannot sacrifice the dignity of those who shed their blood for this nation. While we find ourselves at the crossroads, we must press forward and choose the path that leads us back to peace and prosperity. As a government, we remain committed to this principle. Fellow citizens, when our flag was raised, it was raised along with it the hopes and dreams of generations past, present, and the future generations. We must consistently remind ourselves of those hopes and ambitions. But the only way to achieve that potential is if we are united as a people. I had wanted to say that I don't know where have we thrown that uniting factor that kept us during the struggle. For 21 years, we have been one people, we remain one people, we fought as one people until when we achieved our independence. Where is that spirit? Let us recollect ourselves and go back to that state. Despite the fact that many of us want to be leaders, yes, nobody can be denied not to be the president. But we cannot sit on one chair 10 of us at a time. So, my people, let me remind you that nobody alone can develop this country. Let us unite and let us forget about our differences. There is a constitution which has streamlined the ways of our leadership, that you can be a leader today, tomorrow you step down. There are people who are worried because of their ages, that if I don't become a leader now, I cannot become a president again because my age is going. But I don't think that it is true. You can become old, but your history will remain like those who fought the war. Some did not live to see this independence. And so they will not be forgotten because they were not presidents. Let us put our acts together and let us work together, work as one people. I still believe in the vision of the SPLA. I believe that while we have achieved much, there remains more to be done. And we must focus on what we have not done. Today, I congratulate the SPLA for 34 years of existence. Let us press forward in a spirit of resilience and resolve. You must continue the strong legacy left by our founding fathers and martyrs. Let their blood not have been in vain, but in a spirit of valor and honor. I want to thank you all for your dedicated service to the nation. And may God bless the SPLM and the SPLA, and may God continue to bless South Sudan. I want, before I go, I want to inform you that we have been talking about the national dialogue. And this national dialogue has been raising so many questions, and especially those who pretend to be friends of SPLM or friends of South Sudan, when they are actually the enemies in disguise, that they want to destroy South Sudan. They are pressing for this. There are people with genuine opinion that this thing may bring peace and unity in South Sudan. On Monday, the 22nd of this month, the General Secretariat of the National Dialogue will be sworn in, and so that they start operationalization of the National Dialogue. I want to assure all that this is a route that we have chosen to go, and that even if we were to declare a unilateral ceasefire, which people are talking about, that you declare a ceasefire, you cannot declare a ceasefire for yourself. You declare a ceasefire so that two sides respect it all. And that the unilateral ceasefire is not binding on the other side. People must understand this. and I'm all to ceasefire, I make sure that I don't violate my own ceasefire. But I have the right to defend myself if I'm attacked by anybody. So, SPLA, matagule no logalu unilateral ceasefire, and you are attacked, you cannot raise up your hand and say, wait, we have the ceasefire, please don't fight us. Nobody will do that. So, this is what is in a waiting. And I want to congratulate you, my soldiers, for your perseverance in the operations that were uncalled for. There was no reason for all these wars after we have achieved the independence of our country. You continue to defend your own country. Thank you very much. SPLA Moye. SPLA Oye. Thank you very much.